You wake up at 3 a.m. Again. The weight on your chest isn't physical, but it's crushing you anyway. You pray. You read. You show up. You lead. You provide. But inside, you're running on nothing. Nobody knows. They see the man who has it together, the believer who shows up, the leader who handles it. But they don't see the battle you're fighting in complete silence, the depression you're hiding, the anxiety that's eating you alive, the marriage that's falling apart, the business that's barely breathing, the addiction you can't shake, the thoughts you can't tell anyone about. You're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to have faith. But right now, your faith feels tired. And that terrifies you. Because if your faith is tired, what does that say about you? Are you failing? Are you weak? Are you disqualified? Here's what I need you to hear. Tired faith isn't failed faith. It's human faith colliding with a divine moment. And what happens next might be the most powerful thing God ever does in your life. This isn't another sermon about praying harder or reading more. This is about what God does when you finally run out of strength. When the mask falls off. When you can't perform anymore. Drop a comment right now if you've ever felt this. Just type "me" so you know you're not alone in this. Because I promise you, the man sitting next to you in church, the brother you think has it all figured out, the leader you admire, they've been here too. And the fact that you're still watching means you're ready for what comes next. Let me show you what happens when faith feels tired. Elijah was a prophet. He called down fire from heaven. He shut the sky for 3 years. He was powerful, anointed, unstoppable. Until he wasn't. One threat from Jezebel and he ran into the wilderness, sat under a tree, and prayed to die. This wasn't a bad day. This was a breakdown. The man of God wanted out. And here's what nobody tells you about this story. God didn't rebuke him. God didn't preach at him. God didn't tell him to have more faith. God let him sleep. Sent an angel with food. Touched him gently. And only after rest, after nourishment, after care, then came the conversation. Your exhaustion isn't a character flaw. Your depression isn't a lack of faith. Your anxiety isn't evidence that God left you. You're a man carrying things you were never meant to carry alone. Financial pressure that's suffocating you. Mental battles that nobody sees. A marriage you don't know how to save. Kids you don't know how to reach. A career that's crumbling while everyone thinks you're winning. An addiction you keep promising God you'll quit, but you can't. And the worst part? You can't tell anyone. Because men don't talk about this. Believers aren't supposed to struggle like this. Leaders are supposed to have answers. So you suffer in silence. And the isolation makes everything worse. But here's what God sees that others miss. He sees the man behind the mask. He knows the weight you carry. He's not shocked by your struggle. He's not disappointed in your exhaustion. God's first response to tired faith isn't correction. It's care. If you need to hear that today, hit the subscribe button. Because you need reminders like this more than you know. And comment below, what's one thing you've been carrying alone? Let's break the silence together. Jacob spent his whole life hustling, manipulating, scheming, building his identity on what he could do, who he could become, what he could control. Then one night, alone in the dark, he wrestled with God. And God didn't overpower him quickly. God let him fight until he had nothing left. Until his hip was dislocated. Until he was limping, weak, broken. And that's when God blessed him. That's when God renamed him. Not when he was strong. When he was limping. You've been running on willpower, not worship. You've been performing for God, not resting in God. You've been proving your worth instead of receiving your identity. And now you're exhausted. You can't keep up the image anymore. You can't fake the strength. You can't maintain the performance. And that's exactly where God wanted you. Because tired faith exposes what performance-based faith hides. It forces the question you've been avoiding. Am I loved for what I do, or who I am? The man who leads worship on Sunday but wanted to end it all on Monday. The father who provides for everyone but is dying inside. The entrepreneur whose business is failing while his Instagram says he's thriving. The minister who's been serving for years but just realized he's been earning God's love, not receiving it. When you can't perform anymore, you discover if your relationship with God is real or transactional. If it's based on His grace or your effort. If you're His son or His employee. This exhaustion you're feeling? It's not destroying your faith. It's purifying it. It's stripping away everything you built on your own strength so God can rebuild you on truth. You're not falling apart. You're being freed. Paul begged God 3 times to remove his thorn. 3 times. The apostle who wrote half the New Testament couldn't get his prayer answered the way he wanted. And God said no. But he said something better. My strength is made perfect in weakness. Paul's response? He stopped begging for strength and started boasting in weakness. Because he finally understood, God doesn't wait for you to get strong to use you. Your weakness is exactly where His power shows up. Right now you think you're disqualified. You think God can't use a man who's struggling like this. A believer who's battling depression. A leader who's barely holding on. But what if this is exactly where God does His best work? What if the battle you're hiding is the message someone else desperately needs to hear? The man who finally shared his mental health struggle became a lifeline for dozens of others suffering in silence. The father who admitted he was failing found a community of men who were too. The believer who stopped faking strength discovered what authentic power actually looks like. Your story in progress is more powerful than your polished testimony. Your honesty about the struggle will reach people your victory story never could. Hidden battles keep you in prison. Shared battles set others free. Comment below if you're ready to stop hiding. Just type "no more silence" and let that be your declaration. And if this is hitting you, subscribe so you remember this when the lies come back. Stop performing. Start communing. Real prayer isn't spiritual language. It's brutal honesty. Tell God exactly how you feel. He already knows. He's just waiting for you to stop pretending. Break the isolation intentionally. Find one safe person who can handle your real story. A brother. A counselor. A pastor who won't judge you. Stop managing everyone's perception and start pursuing freedom. Redefine your relationship with God. You're not His employee trying to earn approval. You're His son. Rest isn't rebellion. It's obedience. Stop earning what's already yours. And recognize this: tired faith is transition, not termination. This season is stripping away what's false so God can rebuild you on truth. Your breakdown might be your breakthrough. Don't spiritualize away real mental health needs. If you need counseling, get it. If you need medication, take it. If you need help, ask for it. God uses doctors, therapists, and community just as much as He uses miracles. Don't isolate longer. Reach out today. Right now. The enemy wants you alone because that's where he kills you. And don't mistake God's silence for absence. He's closer in your exhaustion than He ever was in your excitement. Your tired faith is still faith. And it's more honest than the faith you were performing. God isn't disappointed in you. He's not waiting for you to get it together. He's meeting you exactly where you are, in the mess, in the battle, in the exhaustion. On the other side of this isn't just survival. It's authentic strength. Not fake power. Not performance. Real freedom. Rest in your identity. A life where you don't have to hide anymore. And your story, the one you think disqualifies you, it's going to help someone still hiding in silence. Maybe today is the day you stop hiding and start healing. Maybe your tired faith is exactly what God's been waiting to meet. If this reached you, subscribe so you don't lose this truth when the battle gets loud again. Comment and tell me, what's one thing you're laying down today? And share this with a brother who needs to know he's not alone. Because somewhere right now, a man is watching this, thinking he's the only one. And your comment, your share, your willingness to break the silence, it might save his life. You're not disqualified. You're not too broken. You're not too tired. You're exactly where God can finally do what religion never could.